Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video, we're going to take a look at this X-block shooting rest from the company Benchmaster. Now if you're not familiar with Benchmaster, they have a whole bunch of different products, everything from organization in safes and different kinds of storage solutions to shooting solutions while you're at the range. Things like this bench rest. So today what we're going to do, we're going to go through this in a practical field application. I'm going to bring it out to the range, going to take a look at how it performs for me, compare it against some other examples, different types of rests that you can use, and then I'm going to come back to the studios and I'll give you my final thoughts. And so when we come back, we'll get right into the field use footage, but with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you, and if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Benchmaster who did provide this for review. And so if there's anything that you see in this video and you'd like to get your hands on one of these Benchmaster X-block shooting rests, do me a favor and take a look at the description box below. But as we get into this here, this is the standard size X-block shooting rest. This is an 8-inch by 6-inch by 4-inch shooting rest. It has many different positions, and you can see here I am going to be leveraging this up against a standard sandbag style shooting rest, just for the comparison. This X-block shooting rest is a multi-dimensional lightweight shooting rest option. It has a difference in height both in the vertical and horizontal position depending on how you want to use this, and it has a number of different cradle positions depending on the size of your rifle or your shooting needs. It's made from a high-density foam, and it should be able to hold up against different weather conditions. It is resistant to water absorption, and it should have overall general excellent chemical resistance against gun oil or other impurities that may be on your firearms. The other nice thing about the X-block is because of its construction, it can help to overall protect your rifle, so it should be fairly protective and resist against scratches. Now we're going to be testing this for accuracy and overall recoil and the ease of transportation. Here you can see I'm using a fairly light rifle. This is a 10-22. Bench resting this, I'm going to go through a little bit of an iteration here at 25 yards, getting things started. You can see a fairly decent little group. I mean, I'm off a little bit in elevation and windage, but the group itself was fairly tight. Now keep an eye on the rest itself, keeping an eye on the actual movement, how much it shifts, how much it moves forward and back, how much it rocks, and that does impact my ability to get back on target for accurate acquisition. Here you can see again at 25 yards, I've made a nice improvement in my overall grouping, tightening things up and making an improvement in both elevation and windage. You'll notice that for the most part, I am doing 10-round shots. Here, transitioning to the sandbag for a little bit of a comparison. Now, the sandbag's going to be heavier. It's not going to move nearly as much. And you can see that the sandbag, all in all, pretty much sits fairly still. But the X-block, not moving too much. Now, I do have this in what I would call the vertical position for this part of the demonstration. And comparing it against the sandbag, you get an understanding of the overall movement. One thing that I can say about the standard size X-block, it might be a little bit undersized for my needs. You'll notice I'm very low. I'm low to the bench, and I tested this both in the vertical and in this particular case, the horizontal position. So in other words, in this position, it's only 6 inches tall. Now, depending on the sort of setup that you have and where you're shooting from and the stool that you're on and whatnot, it may make a difference. But now you can see a comparison of the 6-inch height versus the 8-inch height on the standard X-block in terms of the overall movement. Not too bad, all things considered. Both of them fairly sturdy. But all in all, this X-block is a nice platform to work from. It's not abrasive against your hand if you're leaning into it. It's not abrasive against your firearm. All in all, it's a fantastic solution. But one thing to consider, they also make an extra large version. So I didn't want to only test the smaller version that Benchmaster sent to me. I did want to try the XL version, so I bought one for myself. And you can see here, I was able to leverage this both as a rifle shooting rest, but also as a pistol rest. Another thing worth considering with Benchmaster, these are made in the USA. That's another thing that's absolutely awesome. I love the fact that these products are made in the USA. That's a big deal these days and something I think is worth paying attention to. Now, in terms of the overall dimensions, this is 11 inches by 8 inches by 4 inches, a significantly larger rest. It's 160 cubic inches larger than the standard rest. And you can see here as we compare them side by side, it is vastly different. So in other words, the short length on the larger rest is the equivalent as the longest length on the shorter rest. So depending on what you're trying to do, that is certainly a consideration. This larger rest being 10.4 ounces. It's made of all the same foam, all the same construction, and all the same general features. Now, I did need to sight in a red dot on my pistol. This here is the SIG P322, again 22LR. Shouldn't have too much in the way of recoil, but I did manage to leverage the X-Block XL extremely effectively in the pistol bay. I thought this was an awesome way to lean in, get on target, do all my sighting in, make the adjustments to my red dot, and just have a real nice platform to work off that was an appropriate height and an appropriate width, and you can see very comfortable for my needs. This literally worked absolutely perfect for this purpose. So I was able to leverage this for a number of rounds, get tighter and tighter and tighter on my groups, be nice and controlled, make all of my adjustments, and get my pistol red dot sighted in just about perfect. I mean, anything that was off was, I guess, my user's error, but you can see the results were fairly good, all things considered. Then turning the corner here, I did want to leverage this again for a rifle rest. So here, this is my Ruger PC carbine, a 9mm carbine. Now you'll notice that with the cutouts, I was able to leverage some interesting sort of alternate means to reach around the rest, get on my rifle, get everything really solid and sturdy and really holding it where I needed to while I was getting everything sighted in and on target. It was very effective. I like this. I think it works extremely well, and you can see I was able to get everything sighted in, dialed in, and then hand holding just to get my overall sort of opinion of my sights and, well, everything working out pretty good. Rounds 1 and 2, you can see here, we're leveraging the rest, and round 3 handheld. So all in all, everything fairly tight groups, looking pretty good and literally doing exactly what I need. And the ones that were a little bit strayed off were actually from another round. So this did work extremely well for me. But coming out of the pistol bay and now out to the longer range, this is at 100 yards. So I did shoot a lot of rounds at 100 yards. That for me was something that I really wanted to get a good feel for how this would work out. And you'll notice that I leveraged both the extra large block and the standard size block to my advantage. You'll notice my buddy Roy here taking some shots. He had the X block kind of canted. That's another thing that I like. You can use this in a number of alternate ways. This does hop around just a little bit. If you look at this at shot after shot after shot, it does hop around just a little bit, but all in all, not too bad. You'll see that it performed very well for my needs. So doing a great job to keep my rifle where it needs to be and pretty accurate on target. And you can see here, after all of this, I've definitely been improving over time, having myself a nice rest, getting to the point where I'm actually feeling pretty confident, and by the end of my session, everything going exactly as I had hoped, everything sighted in, the X-Block's doing a fantastic job for me, and not that this happens all the time, but at 100 yards on steel, pretty good. 10 for 10 I will take it. I'm not the best shot, but I am definitely improving, and Benchmaster absolutely helping along the way. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the Benchmaster X-Block shooting rest and the XL version. All in all, I do have to say, these have been fantastic. Very simple, yet at the same time, very effective. Now, all in all, you did see the shooting footage. Each one of these has an advantage. Each one's sort of got its place. To me, I really do like the fact that they're sort of multi-positional, but overall, the larger version from a shootability perspective did work a little bit better for me. The smaller, from a packability and portability standpoint, did work a little bit better for me. So again, each one of these are going to have a pro and con. Now, very lightweight. When you stack it up against some of the other solutions, most of the other solutions are heavier. Again, a pro and a con. These are going to be very lightweight, easy to move around, bring them to where you need to go. Yeah, they're a little bulky, but you can get them there pretty easy, and it's not going to weigh down your range bag or your gear bag. Other solutions, a lot more weight, but with the lightweight capabilities comes a little bit of that sort of take. So, in other words, this is not going to be nearly as firm or secure, but at the same time, I didn't find that really bothered me. I didn't find that it really got in the way of my overall accuracy, and if anything, I just kind of went with it, and it allowed me to kind of maneuver this around and manipulate it around, get on target the way I needed. I'm not out here shooting professionally. I mean, it's pretty much training and recreational, quite frankly. So for me, this is a really viable solution, and these definitely worked very well. Now, I can't really speak to long-term durability. We're going to have to keep an eye on things. As I take a look at these, I mean, no notable damage or anything worth considering whatsoever. I mean, really at this point, minimal amounts of use. The one place where I can see just a little bit of rub, and that was where on my rifle it seems to have been kind of rubbing through this groove, but at that, I'm not surprised, and it doesn't seem to really impact anything, and it doesn't bother me. So all in all, no worries, no problems, and a very nice product, all things considered, from Benchmaster. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to Benchmaster for providing this for review. You can find more details in the description box below if you like these products and you're interested in getting one for yourself. And so, all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.